Oh, this is going to be really embarrassing if I can't make this work well, right? So thank you. I'm excited to be here, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what we do at our fabrication lab here in Anchorage and how it can translate out to the rest of Alaska. And I'll talk to you a little bit more about the title at the end. So, what if you woke up every day and your life was like a Star Trek show? Do we have any Trekkies out here? Thank you, thank you. These are my people right here. So, in Star Trek, in the original ones for sure, the replicator made food, and you could have anything. And then as we got new episodes of Star Trek, they started replicating equipment. Because, as some of you, and hopefully most of you know, in Alaska, when you order things, it can look like it came on a bike, a boat, a horse-drawn carriage. It can take months for you to get your Amazon Prime membership ordered items. I know, I argue with them a lot. So if we could have something like a replicator that you could just go to in the morning and replicate what you needed, imagine how that would impact Alaska. Oh, and my absolute favorite is we don't ship to other countries. Excellent. So what we have in our space is a 3D printer. And this is the closest thing we have to a replicator currently. And this extrudes plastic or other materials, now plastic with wood or plastic with metal in it, and you can make things. And so what you'll see is some items that were made by some students in our lab. And they are printed out, and sometimes they take an hour, and sometimes they take a day. So, fab what? What is that? What do you do there? So a fab lab is a fabrication space, and there's over 100 around the world in conjunction with MIT's Center for Bits and Atoms. And in our fab lab, we have probably more than 10 different pieces of equipment, and usually the defining piece is that they're controlled by computer. So what we do is we work with kids, and they have to learn computer-aided design and design software so that they can make things be printed out, cut out, or created in the fab lab. It's a safe space for our kids to create and iterate and learn. My favorite thing is it's a immediate gratification world, and we want the kids to understand that to do something that is worth the time, it sometimes takes more than one try, and it takes patience. And we're teaching them science along the way and math. So we have one, but you can have one anywhere. You can have one piece of equipment, you can have all of them, you can have them in a city like Anchorage, or there can be ones in a village. We took a microfab lab up to Utqiagvik, and they're using it in the school district to screen print the kids' bags, you know, like the whalers, and I don't know who else. They're up at Point Lay too. So they are using it for what they need it for. And so that's one of the other defining factors of a fab lab, is that whatever community it's in is focused on their needs most of the time. In Detroit, they had a fab lab that they decided they needed fresh food that didn't cost a lot of money, so they started doing vertical gardening and hydroponics. And so with a fab lab, you can set those things up. With the electrical pieces, you can put on timers and create those. 3D printers can print the nozzles. So these are perfect ideas for rural Alaska. And here's the picture of our fab lab, and what you see here is a lot of machinery, and we have things like 3D printers, laser cutters, sandblasters, we have embroidery machines, we have high pressure sewing machine that everyone's too scared to use because it will sew through your finger. And so this space is where we have kids come in and learn. And so I'm saying this because if we can teach kids this, I feel like everyone can learn it. Although if you remember the show, Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? There may be some questions. This is one of our favorite pieces. This is a glow forge, and it's on our mobile fab lab, and we take it to schools. And so the cool thing about this is that there's a scanner. You can draw anything, place it on the scanner, it scans it, you put your material in, and then it will cut it out. So that's super easy, right? And then you could go to the other extreme and go to AutoCAD and design things and then use it. So this one is a really cool piece of equipment. These kids are learning about aerodynamics, and we created, right here, you'll see this launcher. We created a launcher so kids could design their own airplanes. They learned about aerodynamics, and then they had contests to see how far they'd go. We do this with boats, too. See? Nope, that was right. And here we do paper circuitry. So again, it kind of just spans a lot of things. We work with wood, we work with plastic, we work with vinyl, we work with acrylic. We do electrical, although I don't. I am terrible. But here's paper circuitry. So we teach kids. So we fab to teach. And we fab useful things. One of our camps, the kids made snow skates from scratch. We also do recycling. And these kids made, ooh, there's a sign, made a flashlight. So this really tiny thing can be made. I'm gonna go quick now, watch. You can be creative, so we also focus on culture. So we marry culture and traditional ways of doing things with modern. So this is another area that we make dream catchers and masks. We have these cool sewing machines. We've done costumes, and we've had kids make cusbucks and put LED lights around them and light up. You can be creative and make gifts. Molding and casting is really cool. A lot of people have been making jewelry. You can make the live edge tables with resin. Here's some more small items that you can make as decorations or necklaces. Here's a ShopBot, which can hold an entire piece of plywood, and it can cut things like flat packed furniture. And then any idea. So these kids are learning about boats and hydrology, and then they race them. Like I said, there's screen printing. Kids can make their own logos, and then they make their own shirts. Here's some customized lights. So all of these ideas are what you could do in a village. Anyone who wants to have a piece of equipment, maybe they're making it for themselves, maybe they're customizing for their local village, maybe you need a piece cut for or printed for a snow machine. If you have the piece, you can scan it and make it again. I'm looking forward to the day where the manufacturer will send you the file and you could print it out. So I think they're cutting me off, but there you go. So what will you fab? What will you dream up and make your career?